That's all for today. If this video made you think, share it, because the truth only spreads if you carry it. Don't forget to subscribe to The Future of People, because every week we go deeper. I'll see you in the next one. Stay free. Stay informed. 1967, the bloodiest years of the Vietnam War. The United States military was bombing, burning, and destroying the Ho Chi Minh Trail, but could not break North Vietnam's supply network. And then someone asked a question that would change history forever. What if we used rain as a weapon? That day, one of the strangest and darkest military operations in human history began. Codename Operation Popeye. Between 1967 and 1972, the United States Air Force conducted over 2,600 cloud seeding missions across Vietnam, Laos, and Cambodia. Aircraft released silver iodide crystals directly into storm clouds, extending the monsoon season by an average of 30 to 45 days. Roads turned to mud, bridges collapsed, forests became swamps. The operation's official slogan, "Make mud, not war." But here is the darkest part. Secretary of Defense Melvin Laird stood before Congress and stated clearly, no such program existed, and no such program would ever exist. Congress was lied to. The American people were lied to. And the operation continued for years, until 1971, when investigative journalist Jack Anderson broke the story and exposed it to the world. The Pentagon Papers confirmed it. And in 1977, the United Nations adopted the NMOD Convention, formally banning the use of weather modification as a weapon of war. But the question remains. The ban was signed. Did the technology stop? Now let's travel to the Middle East, to the United Arab Emirates. The UAE receives less than 100 millimeters of rainfall per year, one of the most water-scarce nations on Earth. Water shortage is an existential threat. And their solution? Cloud seeding. A program that began in the late 1990s has since evolved into the world's most advanced weather modification system. The UAE's National Center of Meteorology operates 75 automatic weather stations, 5 Doppler radar systems, and 6 specially equipped aircraft across the country. When suitable clouds are detected, these aircraft take off and fire salt flares directly into the clouds. The result? Scientists estimate this process can increase rainfall by up to 30 to 35% under the right atmospheric conditions. In 2025 alone, the UAE conducted 172 cloud seeding flights in just the first few months of the year. This program is fully official, publicly acknowledged, and government-funded. So the question becomes unavoidable. If the UAE can do this openly, who is doing it secretly and...
Now let's talk about one of the most controversial figures in this story, Bill Gates. In 2006, Gates received a private briefing from David Keith, one of the world's leading researchers in solar geoengineering. What he heard fascinated him. And from that moment, he began quietly funding some of the most radical climate intervention experiments in history. The concept was breathtaking in its ambition. Thousands of aircraft flying at high altitudes, spraying millions of tons of particles into the atmosphere, creating a massive chemical cloud around the planet, reflecting sunlight back into space and cooling the Earth's surface. Science fiction? Gates said it himself in an interview with Axios. Yes, I've been a funder of trying to understand geoengineering. And when asked if he would support deploying it, he replied, if the planet hits critical tipping points, yes. But here is what makes this truly remarkable. When asked how much of his funding was publicly disclosed, Gates himself acknowledged that the majority was not. Harvard University's SCOPEX project, which Gates backed, planned to release calcium carbonate particles high above the Arctic to study how they behave in the upper atmosphere. The project was cancelled in 2024, following intense international criticism. But how far had it already progressed before it was stopped? Nobody knows for certain. Gates also backed a San Francisco research group called Silver Lining, which developed floating machines capable of sucking up 10 tons of seawater per second, converting it into microscopic particles and shooting them 900 meters into the air to increase cloud density. The plan was to deploy 10 of these machines across 10,000 square kilometers of ocean. When CBS News broke this story, environmental groups erupted. Bill Gates and his cloud-wrenching associates have no right to unilaterally change our seas and skies, they declared. Gates's defense was consistent. I'm not pushing the world in this direction. I'm funding research. But when billions of dollars flow into technology that can alter the sky above entire nations, the line between research and deployment becomes dangerously thin. How do independent analysts read this picture? Mavi Türk, one of Turkey's most followed geopolitical voices on social media, has been raising this issue for years. Sharing photographs of aircraft trails across the skies of Germany, France, Spain, Greece, Switzerland, Turkey, Belgium, Holland, and Azerbaijan, he asked a simple question: is this all coincidence? And he made a striking observation. After Iran struck what was reported to be a secret cloud seeding and weather modification center in the UAE, everything in the region changed overnight. Turkey, Iraq, and Iran began receiving heavy rainfall every week. Temperatures dropped by 5 degrees. Land that had been dry for decades began to turn green. Coincidence? Or did the destruction of one center end artificial control over an entire region's weather? Geopolitical and security analyst Abdullah Çiftçi adds a chilling dimension to this. Weather control is no longer simply a climate issue, it is a geopolitical weapon. Manufacture drought in a country and you destroy its agriculture. Destroy agriculture and you create hunger. A hungry population does not think about armies or revolutions. It thinks about bread. He who controls the rain controls the hunger, and he who controls the hunger needs no army. Analyst Erkan Türkten raises the sharpest question of all. This technology was used secretly in Vietnam in 1967, and the world only found out 4 years later. How many operations are running today? And when will we find out? Now we owe you honesty. Here is what is confirmed and documented. Operation Popeye was real, classified, and hidden from Congress. The UAE conducts hundreds of cloud seeding operations every year and openly acknowledges it. Bill Gates funded geoengineering research projects and admitted it himself. More than 50 countries currently use cloud seeding technology. China operates the largest weather modification program in human history. And here is what remains unproven. The claim that aircraft contrails are deliberately sprayed chemical weapons. The claim that specific governments are intentionally deploying weather as a weapon against civilian populations today. But here is the truth that matters most. The confirmed facts are disturbing enough. You don't need the unproven claims. The documented history alone should make every person on this planet ask harder questions. Humanity learned to modify weather in 1967, and since that day, this technology has never stopped. It has only been hidden, privatized, or rebranded as climate research. The next time you look up at the sky, understand this. Some of those clouds are natural, some are not, and no one is going to tell you which is which. He who controls the rain controls the land. He who controls the land controls the food. And he who controls the food controls humanity. On this channel, every week, we will continue to bring you the truths you were never meant to know. If this video made you think, share it, because the truth only travels as far as you carry it. Don't forget to subscribe to The Future of People. I'll see you in the next one. Stay free, stay informed.